Hi, I'm Luce DeBay, and I love to talk about movies 24/7. I've been fascinated with films as long as I can remember, and I upload weekly. Today I'm going to be ranking all three Mean Girls movies from worst to best. Alright, let's get started. Coming in at last place is Mean Girls 2. This is an absolutely terrible movie. This is honestly one of the worst movies and comedies I ever seen in my entire life, and that's definitely saying something. First off, it's a standalone sequel to Mean Girls that was straight to DVD and basically has no connections at all to original except for it being at the same high school, North Shore High School, and Principal Duval still being the principal. But he doesn't have any good lines or scenes or nothing like that. Um, so this movie is so bad on so many levels. The acting is atrocious. Just like so noticeable, so bland and generic. It has the worst voiceover I ever heard in a movie. It starts out with this bland, robotic voiceover from the lead actress that's actually annoying to hear after a while, and it goes on through the entire movie, and it's just so aggravating. It's so annoying just to hear. The writing is absolutely terrible. Um, a lot of the guy characters at the high school are just sexist pigs, and the girl characters are just mean spirited jerks. So you don't root for anybody. Even the protagonist, she's taking money from this girl's dad to be her friend. So this girl's dad is paying the protagonist to be friends with her daughter that's being bullied. So who are you supposed to root for in this movie? Nobody. And the directing is really bad. This looks like very overlit. This looks very bland and generic. Again, the acting is absolutely terrible from everybody. Even there's even a couple good actors in this movie, like Tim Meadows and Lyndon Ashby. Even that, even them, they're phoning it in. They're great actors, but they're just phoning it in. They're just probably wanting a paycheck, which can't blame them. But everyone else is terrible. Again, you can't root for anybody. And the mean girls in this movie are just like not even mean. They're just like they're mean, but they're terrible. They're like psychotic human beings. You can't even have like fun with the mean girls aspect. Like one girl, like the lead mean girl. I don't remember her name because I just like want to forget this movie. But she literally is so mean that her dog throws up in her purse at a point, and she throws her dog and the purse in the garbage. That's what kind of mean girl there are in this movie. And another girl tries to like basically poison another girl with putting strawberries in her yogurt when she's allergic. So they're just psychopaths. They're not even like fun mean girls like being sneaky and just being mean. It's just like no, they're absolutely psychopaths. So like what? And all the characters are really bad. Like I said, the mean girls aren't even fun mean. They're just mean spirited mean. Can't root for any protagonist. The love interest is like just like starts out as a sexist pig at some point. And she still falls in love with him for whatever reason. Um, and he literally just like for the soundtrack, there's barely any music. Like the first movie has an amazing soundtrack, very iconic. The one song they could get is "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry. Sorry, um, that's the only song they get. Like it's a good song, of course, but that's they probably blew up most of their budget on just getting the song. Honestly, the flow and runtime are really bad, and that's that's bad because it's the same length as the original and the musical remake. It's like only like 97 minutes, but it feels like over 2 hours because it's so bland and it's so boring and so forgettable. So yeah, nothing about this movie works at all. The overall story, they're just rehashing a lot of stuff from the original, and the stuff they do add is just terrible. Just terrible jokes, terrible characters, and the ending's like this football scene that's like Mean Girls, Avengers, the good girls versus the mean girls, and it's the stupidest thing you'll ever see in your whole life. None of the humor lands at all. I didn't chuckle, didn't laugh, nothing. Um, it's just awful. No emotional moments, nothing. There's nothing good about this movie. The ending is terrible. The opening's terrible. You can't root for anyone. Even a girl that's being bullied. It just feels so over the top and unbelievable. You can't even buy into it. So yeah, this is an absolutely terrible movie. I cannot recommend it at all. Next up is Mean Girls 2024. I actually saw this movie twice because like I'm not a big musical fan. So I wanted to actually, see it once just to, just like critically and see it again, just like so I can just like, enjoy it as a movie and I can expect where the musical moments are if that makes sense. So I'm not like distracted if that makes any sense to you at all. And this is one of the musicals I did like. I thought this was a very well done movie. I thought the cast was absolutely phenomenal. And before getting into the rest I'm going to say, this is a huge gap in quality between Mean Girls 2 and Mean Girls 2024. Like this is like Academy Award winning movie Oppenheimer compared to Mean Girls 2. This is like way better in every single way than Mean Girls 2. All right, well, I'll get back to it. So yeah, I thought the acting was phenomenal. Um, all across the board. And that surprised me because when I saw the trailer, I was not digging the acting or the casting, none of that. I was like, no way these people can live up to the original cast. But they stood their own. They did a really good job. Anna Gori Rice was amazing. Katie, you really believed her change from a timid shy girl to a mean girl. Renee Rapp was a phenomenal Regina George. She definitely had some big boots to fill, but she was perfect. Very menacing, very believable, very funny. BB Wood was great. Avantika was great as the other plastics. They're both very funny, had a lot of great moments. Christopher Brenny was a great Aaron Samuels. He just brought a lot of humanity and just like, charmingness to charming. This is probably not a word, but whatever. But yeah, he's just a really good Aaron Samuels. Tina Fey and Tim Owens are back as the principal and the teacher. They were fantastic. And the friends were also very good. Jaquel Spivey, and I can't remember the other girl's name off the top of my head. That plays Janice. But they are also phenomenal. Everyone is honestly really, really good in this movie. They like I said, it's hard to touch the originals, but they really stood their own. They did a phenomenal job. I was very, very surprised at how good the casting was and the characters were. They all play their characters really well. And they had to deliver a lot of the same lines, but they brought their own thing to it. They didn't just like try to rehash what was done before. They try to give their own spark and their own energy to those lines. So I appreciated that. And of course, it being a musical, you have to talk about the music. The second when I first reviewed the movie, I said I didn't like any of the songs at all, really. Seeing it again, there was a couple songs I did like "Stupid in Love" I thought was pretty good. And I also liked a couple other ones, like "What If" and there's another one. I like some of the Regina songs as well. But yeah, I thought all those were pretty good. Some of the songs are bland and forgettable, but I thought there were some standout songs that I wouldn't mind listening to again that I thought were pretty good. And the flow and runtime are really good. It's probably the longest one out of the three, but it really nails it. Just like was never bored. Of course, the story is great because it's the original story, but there's a lot of things that they added I really liked. There's some scenes towards the end I won't spoil in case you haven't watched it yet, but they had some stuff with Regina's character arc, some scenes that I really enjoyed and I thought was an improvement upon the original, and I loved the original. So what they did add was great. They had some great humorous moments that made me laugh out loud. I thought were very entertaining, and I was even nervous getting into this movie. Like they had a lot of musical numbers right off the bat. And I was kind of nervous. I was like, "Is this gonna be just a musical the entire time?" But they have a lot of breaks from the musical part aspects. If you are worried about that, but yeah, I thought this was a great movie. Very fun and charming and entertaining. Is the directing is phenomenal. High production value. It looks amazing. I saw in Dolby each time. Highly recommend in Dolby. It looked like an amazing movie. All the musical numbers are great. The choreography was all great. Overall, just a very, very good movie. Next up is the original Mean Girls. This is one of my favorite movies and comedies of all time. I absolutely love this movie. It's a perfect cast. Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Lacey Sherbert, Amanda Seyfried, and all of the other amazing cast. This such like honestly one of the best casts of all time, if I'm being honest. Just like perfectly casted. I couldn't imagine any other actor playing those roles at that time. Just like perfectly casted. They really nailed their characters. Just love the intro of the movie. Just gets right into it, just like with the comedic humor, and just so fast paced and witty and charming. I just love the writing. There's so many great humorous moments, dramatic moments, emotional moments. Just so many great iconic lines and iconic moments. The directing is very good, and look, it's like it still holds up. It looks like an amazing movie. Acting's top notch from everybody. Like I said, everyone fits the role perfectly. They're just all amazing. Um, Again, it has some really emotional ones, especially at the end. Definitely lands and hits home. The flow and runtime are perfect. It's like 96, 97 minutes. Just it doesn't feel too long, doesn't feel too short. Just feels like the perfect length. I was never ever once bored watching this movie. Of course, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just like nothing about this movie is bad. Every second is important story moments and important character moments. It's just like just such a perfect movie. I just love the story. How it starts. And how it ends, how Katie changes from, being a girl from that grew up in Africa, just becoming like a mean girl, then trying to come back from that. All of that was amazing. And so many, of course, like you got to mention the humorous moments. There's so many great humorous moments, so many great iconic lines, so many to name. I love all of them. Um, and this is one of the most quotable movies of my generation from guys and girls. I hear it all the time from my friends. But yeah, this is an absolutely perfect movie. I love it. It's so good. It's A+ all the way around. Nothing wrong with it. And so Mean Girls 2004 comes in at number 1. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Sorry this video is a little late. But I wanted to watch the Mean Girls 2024 twice. All right, well, thank you again. Have a great day and take care. Bye.